Welcome to Box Recaps. Today I'm going to explain the movie The Room, released in the year 2019. The movie starts and we're taken to upstate New York, where we see a couple named Matt and Kate moving into their new house. They are newlywed and they have gotten this house to make the best of their special time. One day they are working in the house as they are renovating a few things. Kate comes across a dead bird, and it seems like the bird has been killed recently. She does not think much of it and just goes on to bury the little creature outside. Matt keeps talking to her through the window as she's outside, and she gets her attention back to the bird. The dead bird has disappeared. Matt later gets started on the walls, and he notices something weird on the wall. When he gets rid of the wallpaper, it turns out to be a door, which has been kept secret from them, and this door has a very unusual keyhole. He decides that he is going to open this door and see what is on the other side of the door. He starts looking for it and eventually finds the key. Matt opens the door and Kate joins him. The door opens to a hallway and the lights flicker as the couple steps into the mysterious hallway. Kate feels weird and does not want to be in this room, while Matt does not think much of it and just goes on to call an electrician so that they are able to deal with flickering lights. The electrician, however, arrives the next day, and when he takes a look at it, he tells Matt that these wires are from old times, and they're badly intertwined with each other, so he has no idea what is going on there. The man tells Matt that he's not going to be able to do anything about it, and before he leaves, he tells Matt that the man who used to live in this house before them was killed inside the house. Matt is shocked, and he decides to look into the history of this house. He goes on the internet and comes across an article written about this house. He learns that a couple died in this house decades ago, and their names were Paul and Madeline. A person aliased as John Doe is suspected to be the murderer of the couple. Matt is an artist, so he goes on to draw a sketch of John Doe and then goes to the mysterious room to have a bottle of wine. When he is done drinking the whole bottle, he's bummed and wishes he had another one. Much to his surprise, the lights flicker again and a big bottle of wine appears in front of him, and he's shocked. This is how he learns that this room has the ability to grant wishes. Kate also wakes up in the middle of the night and goes on to join her husband, who tells her that he just found out this room in their house can grant any wish they have. He then goes on to show her a very important painting as well. Matt then goes on to tell her that they can have anything they want. She thinks that her husband is just pulling a prank on her and tells him to cut it out, but he assures her that he's not messing around. She then tells him to prove it to her, asking for $1,000 right away. He looks around the room and comes across $1,000. Kate still does not believe it and asks for $1 million, and the room grants this wish as well. Kate is, however, weirded out by the room and goes away. Matt follows her into the hallway and tells her that they have been given a gift, adding that they should make the best use of this room. The next day, they wake up and spend their day wishing for different stuff they need, and the room provides it. They're over the moon as they wish for really expensive things which they cannot afford in real life, but the room keeps granting their wishes. When they're in bed that night, Kate again asks him how on earth is that room granting every wish they're making, and Matt tells her not to worry about that as long as they're getting whatever they wish for. They keep doing this. Days go by and they spend their time making wishes. They get to experience many things, like floating in space and lavish clothes, and they go on to party all night, having the best time of their lives. This goes on, but one day, Kate wakes up and she realizes that she's gotten bored of doing the same thing over and over. She has everything she has ever wished for, but she still does not have inner peace. Matt realizes that his wife is really upset, so he goes to her and says they should have a baby. Kate gets pissed at this, telling him that he should not have suggested it because he's well aware that she has had 2 miscarriages in the past and she is now scared to get pregnant. Later, Kate cannot stop thinking about the baby thing and goes to the room and wishes for a child. The room grants this wish as well, and the next thing we see, she's on her bed with a baby by her side. Matt shows up and he's pissed at her for having a baby by making a wish to the room. He tells her that they cannot keep this baby because it is not theirs. He says they should have a baby by getting pregnant, but Kate does not want to do that. Matt and Kate eventually decide that they are going to take the baby back to the room and wish for it to disappear. Both make their way to the room, but Kate is not able to bring herself to wish for the baby to disappear, so she asks her husband to do it, and Matt is also not able to say the words. They then decide that they're going to keep the baby, and just like that, Kate has a baby she loves without having to go through any kind of trouble whatsoever. Matt gets back to his research on John Doe and learns that this man is still alive. He reads an article in a newspaper through which he learns that the man is currently in state mental hospital. He also learns through an article that Matt told the press that it was the room that made him commit those murders. Matt decides to meet this guy and makes his way to the mental hospital. The woman there tells him that no one has come to see this man in the last 45 years, except for a few journalists, and Matt tells her that he too is a journalist. The next thing we see, he's sitting in front of John Doe, who is now an old man. Matt asks John Doe why he killed the couple, and he just tells him that he had no other choice but to kill them. He then tells Matt that he should leave that house right away. Matt is told by the old man that when a person gets whatever he wants, this is when he becomes really dangerous, so he should get out of that house as soon as he can, because if he stays for a little while longer, it might be too late for him. Matt leaves the hospital, and when he stops at the gas station to get a refill, he's about to pay when his money turns into dust. Matt then makes his way back home and throws all the money outside. He even throws the painting outside, and realizes that when these things are taken out of the house, they just turn into dust. Matt decides that he's going to solve the mystery behind this room, so he goes to the room with some equipment and starts tearing down the walls, only to realize that there's nothing but a huge set of intertwined wires which he cannot track because the wires are too messed up. Kate shows up, and we go on to learn that they've named the baby Shane. Kate tells Matt she's taking the baby out for some fresh air. He tries to dissuade her, but ultimately does not stop her. Once the baby is outdoors, he ages to a young child in seconds. Kate screams for Matt, who runs outside and brings Shane back inside the house. When they get back inside the house, they're shocked to see that Shane is now a grown-up boy. Matt then goes on to tell his wife that she can keep the boy if she likes, but she's not allowed to take him outside, because when they take the things outside of the house, these things just turn to dust. Kate says their boy is not a thing, and decides to keep the boy. Shane starts to get bored, as he goes on to tell his mother that he wants to go outside, but she tells him that he's sick, and if he goes outside, it could be fatal for him, because there are many germs outside. She even starts homeschooling the boy. Shane is seen sitting in the window, and he desperately wants to go outside, but Kate won't allow that. Kate and Matt now have a routine that they're supposed to lock the door whenever they come in or go outside. One day, Matt goes on to receive a package, and it turns out to be a gun, while Kate also goes outside, but she forgets to lock the door this time. Shane sees that the door is open and no one is looking, so he goes to the door and feels the fresh wind on his hand. Just then, Kate sees him, and she comes rushing towards him, taking him away from the door. She checks in on him and takes a sigh of relief as she realizes that her son is safe. The next day, Matt goes to the forest and practices shooting with his new gun. Shane, in the meantime, lies down with Kate and tells her that he never wants to leave her. Later, Shane is playing and comes to Matt's room, who goes on to rebuke him and tells him to leave the room. Kate comes to take away Shane, but she goes on to give a piece of her mind to her husband, telling him that he should be acting like a father to Shane. Matt later comes across a map, and following it, he's led to a basement where he finds the system that is connected to all those intertwined wires. He then falls asleep in the mysterious room as the lights flicker around him. When he wakes up, he comes across a snow globe, and he also sees a broken snow globe which Shane dropped and broke the last day. Matt goes to his wife and tells her that he thinks he has figured out the source of the flickering lights. The couple then go to the mysterious room and are shocked when they open the door to the room. They just step outside, and it is all a forest now. Shane has discovered that room, and he was wishing to be outside, so the room turned into a forest so that the kid can have his wish. Kate sees that her son is outside without realizing what actually has happened, and runs to him. She's happy to see that Shane is playing outside, and he's built a snowman as well. Matt, however, gets pissed at Shane and tells him to go back inside the house. Matt then grabs the boy and drags him back inside the house. He tells his wife that he better not see the boy in the wish room again, and Kate argues, telling him that they should allow him to be a part of this. Matt does not agree, and this is when the phone rings. Shane goes on to answer the phone, and Matt again gets angry, shoving the phone away from him. The man on the line turns out to be John Doe, telling Matt that he knows how they wished for a boy. Kate is in another room, and she is also listening in on their conversation through another phone. John Doe goes on to reveal to Matt that he was a child wish granted by the room, and he is alive because his parents died, which allowed him to become part of the real world. He tells Matt that if Kate dies, Shane will be able to live outside the house, and he will be able to grow normally just like other people. He reveals that his own mother killed his father. She then went on to force John to kill her too, as she wanted John to be free from the shackles of this house. John now makes it simple for Matt. He can kill Kate and save Shane, or he can kill Shane and save his wife. Kate cries in the kitchen as she hears this, and she decides that she's going to sacrifice her life so that Shane is able to have a normal life. She makes her way outside in her car and speeds up. She tries to crash the car, but is not able to bring herself to do it. In the meantime, Shane is at home with Matt, who keeps getting annoyed by the boy as he keeps asking him weird questions because he's curious. Matt is so pissed that he goes on to tell Shane that he is not a real boy, adding that he has no parents. Matt then brings Shane outside, but the boy ends up running back inside the house. Matt feels bad for Shane and goes to his room to apologize. Shane requests Matt to read for him, and he does. Both of them end up falling asleep in the same bed. Kate comes back home and sees these two sleeping side by side, and that brings her peace. Later, the couple engages in some carnal activities very passionately as Shane looks on. Shane steals the key to the outside door and leaves. When the couple wakes up the next morning, they see the front door open and realize that Shane has gone outside. They later see him and are shocked as they realize that he has aged himself into a man, though he still has the mind of a child and is angry with Kate for lying to him about the germs. This causes an altercation, and Kate and Matt are knocked out. Shane uses the room to enlarge the outdoor area even further and duplicate the house inside it. He shapeshifts into Matt and kidnaps Kate to the cloned home. Matt awakens a short time later and searches for Kate. He discovers the cloned house and breaks in, as Shane has a wild, steamy hormone sandwich with her. Kate and Matt knock out Shane and try to escape, but they realize Shane used the room to make a labyrinth in the cloned home. Shane finds them in the house and stabs and kills Matt, but realizes that Matt and Kate have used the room to replicate themselves, and that the real Matt and Kate have escaped. Ultimately, they trick Shane into going outside, where he rapidly ages into a duplicate of John Doe and dies, deteriorating into a pile of dust. A month later, the couple has abandoned the home and are living in a motel. Kate stares in horror at a positive pregnancy test, unsure if the child belongs to Matt or Shane, and whether they are in fact still in the room. And with that, the movie comes to an end. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on the notification, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.